One day I get this phone call and they are on their dying bed. That is the price of holding people accountable. They thought I was going to bend and fold like a cracker. While they were sitting on their horse, I was sitting on my Clydesdale horse, okay? The big horse. So sometimes when you address people on their BS, this is the Ever Airwaves Think podcast, brought to you by Live One Company, where we explore ideas that challenge, comfort, and clarify. I'm Liv, and in every episode, we break down life's complexities with intellect, insight, and a touch of curiosity. All right, we're on air. So I held someone accountable and they died. They died before we really, truly made an amends. Well, let me take that back. I thought we had made an amends, but I guess there was still some work, some things unbeknown to me that still needed repairing or still hurt on their end for me holding them accountable. Have you ever held someone accountable and it really hurt them? Like you find out that they were doing little things behind your back for holding them accountable? Well, that's what happened to me, and I'm going to tell you what happened. Well, not necessarily what happened, but how I held them accountable for their actions and what happened right before they died. Because there comes a point in time you're going to have to hold people accountable. You cannot allow people to think it's cool to lie on you, deceive you, manipulate you, and manipulate others to believing you did something to them. Because one thing's for certain and two things for sure, this is what we're not going to do. The world is round for a reason, and those tables do turn. And no, I'm not speaking on their passing. I am speaking on when you do seedy things to others, you can anticipate a miserable life to follow. Because that's what they had. That's what they ended up living with, a miserable life. Here it is. I'm living my whole productive life, right? Minding my good business after I decided I was not going to entertain the foolery and disrespect of it all anymore. Then all they are left with was my unbotheredness, which bothered them. So girl, when you put your whole foot, and I do mean your whole foot down on debauchery and delusional and, might I add, hate or even say jealous behavior, the other person will not be able to take it. They will not be able to take your resistance to their mess because they can't control you anymore. And them not being in control of you is an issue for them. They will lose it. They go into denial, destroy, and a defiant mode. They do everything they can to play on your head top. Now, we are all children of God, but God will put people in their place when he needs to, each and every time, as well as those who follow suit with their lies and antics, because they're a whole sneaky snake. Am I right or am I right? Okay, they slithering through them grass, all right? But walking around in your face in sheep's clothing, that's the devil's work. And good luck with that. That never turns out well for you when you're doing the devil's work. At the end of the day, my friend, we are covered. We are covered from people like that, because the last time I checked, people that spread lies on you will not go unpunished. And if they're pouring out lies, they will not go free because they are never escaping. If you know, you know. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Proverbs 19:5, because some of y'all don't read, but baby, I read. And I will read you, okay? So don't ever say I don't tell you anything, because I do, and you're welcome. Now, none of us are innocent of telling a lie or two, because, I haven't told a lie since I was 10 years old. So mine is excusable, okay? Because I was young. I'm joking. We're all forgiven when we ask for forgiveness. So my slate is clean, okay? I don't know about you though. I think you still got some work to do with them lies you be telling. You need to clean it up. Clean it up real quick. Clean up aisle 5. On the real, some of y'all are full-blown liars. I mean, I might have told a lie, okay? A little white lie, a single act, very situational, sparing feelings, avoiding trouble, and definitely not a habit. But sis, some of y'all are full blown liars, and there's a difference. Like, it's a habitual problem for you. Like, you're real intentional with it, manipulative, and really on some distorted reality type energy. Like, you're believing your own lie, which is sickening. But speaking of that, believing your own lie, like, random fact, I once read, if you know that you're lying about something and you're trying to get away with it, like on a lie detector test, and you want to pass this lie detector test, the trick is to actually believe with your whole heart the lie and you'll pass it. Look at you. I done told you some information and you up here conjuring and scheming already. Shame, shame. And if you are a child, we might just have to, rebuke you, because we got a liar on our hands. I mean, it's giving sociopathic, okay? And I'm gonna need you to stop right now. But the point I'm trying to get to, sis, is you need to determine when you're dealing with people that hurt you. Are you dealing with someone who told a lie, or are you dealing with a full-blown liar? That's what you need to know, and that's what you need to understand to help you proceed in holding them accountable, and exactly what you're going to do when you hold them accountable. This person was close to me. Like, I've known them for a very long time, and I'm not sure what happened or just us having changes in our life. But what I do know is that they did some really foul stuff, some really foul-ish to me. And I learned about it and I didn't like it. And I addressed them on it and they went ghost. So sometimes when you address people on their BS, they may not be used to you addressing them, because I really never used to address this person for their actions, but this is just me over time growing up. This is a time for me when I was really maturing, just in standing up for myself and speaking up for myself and holding people accountable. They didn't like it one bit because they were not used to me doing that. So it really was a shock factor for them, for me to even speak up, defend myself, state my ground, state how they made me feel, inform them what they needed to work on and change and improve. And they were not used to that, because they were the ones who were always used to being the one to tell someone what to do, how to do it, or how they made them feel. And they were just one of those people that you just kind of maybe didn't feel always that comfortable saying things back. Now, don't get me wrong, love this person, right? Love this person dearly, but we all have our flaws and our little weird ways about ourselves, or passive aggressive ways sometimes, that you need to be called out on. I'm sure you have friends like that. You have to call them out on it. And so I was just in my I'm not playing games no more era. I'm biting back. I'm not tolerating it. I'm cutting people off and I'm calling people out. I'm calling you to the carpet. And so that's how we kind of arrived here. So without divulging all the details and to protect the deceased, I will just say, in short, the situation involved a lie that was told. And yeah, so that's kind of in a nutshell what it was. Long story short, I was in my era where I'm not tolerating the bull crap. I was reading self-help books. I was just being more spiritually aligned. And I was at a point where I'm no longer apologizing or making amends with people when they did me wrong, right? I'm always used to extend that olive branch to people, and I would always apologize, even if it was nothing I did. That was just kind of my nature growing up. I just didn't like the tension, the beef. I didn't like any type of trouble with people. I always wanted to be friends with people. So even if they did something wrong to me, I used to actually apologize to them, even though they were the ones that owed me an apology. Just over time, just like I said, I grew out of that, and people were probably really surprised how much I kind of grew out of that, because I was such a forgiving person. And I'm still a forgiving person, but I'm not a doormat. You can't walk all over me. This person never used to apologize for their wrongdoings, their actions. They weren't the best at it. They might have had their own little way without directly apologizing or being accountable for their actions. But sometimes things you just need an apology, and you need someone to do an about face with their actions. You need them to do right and make things right and clear your name. And that's kind of where we're at today. The truth is always aligned to your character. You would never want to lie aligned to your character. And so that's why it's super important to hold people accountable when your character and your name and who you are is on the line with other people. And of course, other people from the outside who were very aware of the situation, they might have just like brushed it off like, oh, that's nothing, like whatever. But to me, this is super serious. We have to handle this. It has to be addressed. So accountability was, I'm not extending the olive branch this time. You're going to have to come to me and you're going to have to apologize. That was step one in accountability. The second part in accountability was, I'm not making phone calls and I'm not texting you. Again, I'm not opening up the main line for you to feel like you can ease your way in with and just kind of brush over what happened and just kind of move on. No, we're going to address it this time, right? It's not going to be water under the bridge. It's going to be a conversation about how you made me feel, what you did wrong. And so that was the second thing as far as me holding them accountable. And the third thing was like, I'm standing 10 toes down and holding you accountable. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to text you. You will not hear from me on holidays and birthdays. But the one thing that I will continue to do, and I will always do, is I will pray for you. I will pray from a distance, from the confines of my own home and bedroom. In my prayer closet, that's what I will do for you. I'm not going to directly call them and text them and say, I'm praying for you. No, if you know me, you just know that, deep down, I'm praying for you or whatever. But so that's kind of what holding them accountable was. And I was not going to go back on it at all. Nope, not this time. Have you ever found yourself in situations where you just kind of open up the airways for dialogue with someone just so, even if they were in the wrong, but you want to move forward, so you extend the olive branch versus the person who made the offense or did the offense? Yeah, that was me. And that was me all of the time. And there comes a point where you have to stop or people are going to walk all over you. And they did. They took me for granted. And I don't like that anymore. I'm not playing games. I'm very mindful of just like how people treat me because I want to be treated with respect. I want to be treated the same way I respect you. And this is something I wouldn't do to you. Or if I ever did anything that was not so demure, as people would say, or not so kind, I'm going to apologize, especially if you have informed me that I have hurt you or this was untrue or if you were told or you told me that you want an apology and I did something to you, you're going to get that apology. So after a window of time where they had an opportunity to really make amends and do what's right by me, they didn't. They sat on their high horse. They thought I was going to bend and fold like a cracker and break and come back and just kind of allow the whole situation to brush over like I've done things in the past. It wasn't happening. While they were sitting on their horse, I was sitting on my Clydesdale horse, okay? The big horse. I did not engage. I was actually had so many things going on in my life anyway. I just didn't even have time to think about the situation anymore. Again, they would come across my mind every now and again and I would pray for them. Now, fast forward, one day I get this phone call and they are on their dying bed and they remembered me. They called me, come see them, be with them. And I did just that. I stopped immediately and I showed up for them. And why did they call me? Because of my character, nurturing person, caring person, loving person. All of those things always supersede any other negative thing they could have thought or imagined in their mind regarding the situation or me holding them accountable. And so I got to be with that person. It was very shocking, but for, the last few days of their life. And it was really hard, but I still don't regret of me holding them accountable. And in that time frame, I got that apology. I didn't necessarily ask for it, but we talked about the situation. And I hate that it came to them being on their dying bed, that they were ready to have this discussion with me. But I think, I don't know what it is. If you're seeing the white light, you just want to make amends. You want to clear the air. You want to make things right with the people that you care about and love. And I think that that's that moment that they had of clarity. And I was very receiving of it. And so that's the time that I got to spend with them in their final days. And, they got to meet their maker, and I hate that last few years we didn't get to be in each other's lives. I really hate that. But sometimes that is the price of holding people accountable. Sometimes you're going to miss out on each other. And then sometimes also that's how God wants it to be. In his infinite wisdom, we don't know what was happening. Maybe he didn't want me around some type of energy or negativity or, vice versa. Maybe God is working on that person. You just never know. And so I'm glad that I was obedient to the Spirit to not engage and just to pray from a distance for them in my relationship with them. But again, they died. And so does it hurt? Heck yeah, it hurts. They're gone. I just have all of the good memories. And then I also have this entire incident that took a couple of years of our life. I say all this to say, hold people accountable, but understand that there's also a price. Let's say you never make amends. Let's say they never come back to you. Always understand that if you are going to call people to the carpet and hold them responsible and accountable for their actions, and you require for them to do certain things to get back right with you, understand that you are chancing your relationship with them. When you hold people accountable for mistreating you and doing you wrong, you are defining the moment with them. You are putting them on notice that they are not allowed to hurt you anymore. I don't care what the nature of the relationship is that you have with them. If someone is disrespecting you, misusing you, smearing your name, telling lies, or being hateful, and God knows what, then it's your responsibility to address the behavior. You will not be accommodating them for further mistreatment. So this is protecting you and yours. You have to stand up for yourself, queen, because this is unacceptable behavior. And if they refuse to be accountable for their actions, then make the decision to cut them off. Stop all communication if you can. Let people sit in their ish and think about their wrongdoings. And if they are a liar, a chronic liar, yeah, then you're potentially dealing with a dangerous person that has no limits, no bounds when it comes to sabotaging your life. A white lie, okay, forgivable, but a full-blown liar, there is no escaping from that. That's indeed who they are. You just never know. You never know when it's your time. God willing, we live a long, healthy, prosperous life, but we don't know when that time is coming. And so you just have to kind of have that mindset. And to this day, I still feel good. Like I can close my eyes at night and feel good about the decision I made at that time. I still have my feelings of sadness that they're gone, but I don't regret holding someone accountable. I hope this helps you. Not sure who this is for today, but I just wanted to share my own personal experience with holding people accountable and how someone actually died in my life. Not as a result of me holding them accountable, but this is what happens in life sometimes. And I hope my story helps somebody. Thanks for listening to the Ever Airwaves Think podcast. If today's episode made you elevate, share it with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep questioning until you have those answers. I'm out.